of them are being, or 67% are being evaluated, and we are meeting both the targets of RFI and also communication that is being issued. We make sure that we provide responses within that period of time. C, the question was, why has ESCOM not been included as a line item on our AFS? And then our response is that for the 2 financial periods, we can be providing that information, but what has been the case, it has been referred to as a bulk suppliers, and bulk being both ESCOM and also the water board. The question number 2 was, when was your last skills audit conducted in accordance with Section 48(3) of the Municipal Act? And skills audit was done and concluded around 2023, and then on the 19th of September 2023, it was adopted by Council. Question number 3 is, does the municipality currently have a functional and operational organogram in place? And our response is that yes, we have organogram that was adopted on the 19th of September 2023, but there were also some changes that were made to that structure, and that was adopted by Council December 2024. Question number 4, does the municipality have a functional and active MPAC, disciplinary and internal audit committees? Noting that reports indicate this have not been operational since 2021. We can confirm, Chairperson, that we have a functioning MPAC, and which is also assisted by SALGA, PT, and COCTA for its functionality. We also have an item that is ready to go to Council on disciplinary board, though currently we are utilizing the disciplinary board of the district. So the next Council will be having a disciplinary board of our own, and then we do have an internal audit committee as well as external audit and performance committee. Number 5, what consequences have been implemented for transgressors, and what measures are in place to ensure that such transactions do not reoccur? We have provided examples of where consequence management had taken place when there were transactions, and that we do have measures in place. And currently, like I've mentioned, that we have now a functioning MPAC. Some of the reports are due to Council, wherein there will be consequence management as a result of the resolution of MPAC. Question number 5, which says on page 6, bottom of the page, regarding financial transactions, where were the mayor, the tracker, audit committee, when it is reported that the last financial transaction was captured in May 2021, and then responses that at different times there were different political principles, and we have an examples of where disciplinary measures or people who were charged in relation to those transactions. So there were consequence management where it was proven. Who was the CFO at the time Why was council not informed? B, did these activities take place under cover of false or misleading reports? What consequence management steps have been taken, and who should be held responsible? We are mentioning that at that time there was an acting CFO, and that there were consequence management that were effected in that regard. And we are also mentioning on page 6 the previous MM who was later charged, as well as the previous technical director who was the acting MM, and where the matter went to the DC board, they produced the report, and then some of these matters are also taken by law enforcement agencies who from time to time report how far these matters are. Number 6, what was the role of Abuti consultants who were reportedly brought to train financial staff? Were they paid for services rendered, and why did they leave so abruptly? Why was staff training undertaken only for a service to later be appointed to perform the same functions? Please elaborate. Our response is that Abuti Consulting was appointed to render skills and audit services and assist with municipality key strategic planning session, which was executed, training offered, but was not limited to financial staff, but general managers within the municipality. They also assisted with the development of staff establishment in compliance with 2021 regulations as subscribed. Therefore, they were not abruptly terminated. When was the last indigent register last audited? Does the current indigent register align with actual unemployment and pensioners percentage within your municipality? The response is that the indigent register was last audited either 23-24 financial year. The municipality has embarked on an extensive indigent program to ensure alignment with actual unemployment and pensioners within the municipality. This is done through ward committees and a further door-to-door. It's in the process to be followed by officials. Number 8, does the municipality have a functional bulk ESCOM and water board meters to measure the actual supply received by the municipality? The response is that we have appointed a service provider who will be assisting us with new meters, and the immediate task will be having to have those bulk meters that will be able to measure our own water and electricity as it coming from both ESCOM and the water board. And that will help to remedy deficiencies and the distribution losses that we are currently encountering. Question number 9, does the municipality have a functional, up-to-date billing system that issue accounts and measuring conventional meters? If so, what is the current collection rate? We do have a billing system, but I don't think it's optimum. There's some measure of improvement that we could do there. Our current collection rate is hovering between 20 and 30, but in the last month or so, we have had an extensive campaign of making sure that we collect, where we have identified major businesses, and the campaign is yielding fruits. We just also hope that through the service provider that you've appointed, it will also improve our billing system, because both water and electricity would be taken care of in terms of the meters. Therefore, the focus of the billing system would just be around refusal, property rates and all that, and then it will help to cleanse our system. Question number 10, does the municipality have a sufficient functional and operational yellow fleet? It's definitely not enough, but efforts have been made to secure a reasonable number. To this end, the municipality has recently procured 9 bakkies, repaired a further 4, making a total of 13, and then these bakkies are distributed around our 4 towns. And we have been at some stage going through auction where we secured those because of our limited resources, but we also have CFO who's engaging our sister department at the provincial level to see whether we could get better service or buy some yellow fleet from province. So discussions are ensuing in that regard. Question number 11. Reports indicate that the municipality purchased second-hand vehicles. Where are these vehicles currently located and in what condition? It's alleged that only 1 bakkie is available for water and sewer teams to share, and that the municipality lacks a grader, water trucks, a tipper, and cherry picker. Please confirm. I've already alluded to this in the previous page, that we have a total of 13 bakkies, and they are functional, and they are split across 4 towns. And the allegation that 1 bakkie is in use and shared between water and sewer, it's not correct. We have 2 graders. There's an advert that went out for tires and batteries on a 7-day tender. We have 4 TLBs distributed along those lines, and 2 cherry pickers that are functional and based in Tennyson and Wynberg. We have 2 tipper trucks, 1 functional and the other one is under repairs. Question number 12. What interventions have been implemented to bring political stability and service delivery? There are many factors, I think, that provided that. For example, the current situation where since Thursday there have been protests, the employees provided the reasons that they have not been supplied PPE. Secondly, they wanted a movement to task, where they believe that if after that evaluation of task, it will increase their salaries. It's something that we have been mentioning a number of times, that we need to start with job descriptions, and that has to be evaluated, and thereafter we don't oppose to the movement to task. And so we have not been seeing eye to eye with the union on that. That's why I mentioned earlier, Chairperson, that we have brought other municipalities who have gone through the same process, and there's a workshop that is taking place which is trying to deal with that. On the issue of PPE, it's something that we have also dealt with, and delivery it's being provided today and on Monday. So we hope that we would have addressed those issues that the unions are complaining about. The below table represents the team that Council has appointed by Mayor and ESCO to change the fortunes of this municipality, and that is the list of the MM appointed 2023, CFO January 2024, Corporate Service Director, January 2024 as well, Director of Planning and Development, January 2025, Technical Director, 2nd of June 2025, and the Director of Community Services, 1st of August 2025. And since the appointment of these directors, that especially on service delivery departments, there has been a significant improvement in the area of work. So to date, we have the following in place. Like I said, we have a DC board by the district, but we'll be having ours after it has been through to our next council. We've got an audit and performance committee in place, risk committee is in place. We've got an audit action plan steering committee where provincial treasury is partaking. MPEC has also been trained by Treasury Cocta Salga, and then it is functional. We do have a budget funding plan, and we are making sure that we also increase our collection so that our budget is realistic. We have adopted a UIFW reduction strategy plan by council. We've got a fully functional ward committees. Number 13, what concrete measures will be introduced to curb the excessive legal costs arising from consistent litigation due to service delivery failures? Our response is that we have not been experiencing litigation affecting service delivery per se, except in one case where Human Rights Commission took us to task in relation to water situation at the time in Wynberg, a matter that we willingly did not challenge, but we put measures in place to address the matter. So as and when the situation arises, we do communicate, and like I'm saying, we have since improved in that score, where we have reservoirs that are 3 in Wynberg, and it only time and again that we do have challenges where there's a bit of a sabotage, where people are going to our valves and then they switch them off. Then it will affect certain streets in Wynberg. It's something that we have opened criminal charges, but have also issued statements to ward communities of such. And we have reduced our litigation register significantly. I think in the past, because the municipality was also not capacitated in terms of legal or attorneys, through having the director himself being, we have reduced those, even others who I think were just taking chances. 14, when will proper and legally compliant public participation process as described in legislation be undertaken in relation to IDP? We are confirming that our IDP process is going through proper legislative procedures, and we do have a process plan that gets approved by council, and also have concurrent committees that are deal with that. And we also are assisted by the Office of the Speaker in terms also of having stakeholder forums. So, yeah. Chairperson, I think our presentation stops here. What is referred to as Part B, our understanding is that it will be provincial department that talks to those, though we have also made our own notes in terms of strides that have been made in that area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Treasury. When the committee of SCOPA interacted with the municipality, they instructed municipality to prepare the funded budget, because municipality was having unfunded budget. According to you, as municipality, reacted positively to that issue. Secondly, according to you, why is this municipality consistent on late submissions of audited statements? Yes. Maybe you can also include what has been your observation in relation to the thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members and Mayor and all the colleagues. Chair, regarding your first question, Masilonyana budget is unfunded. It's still unfunded. With regards to the audit action plan, with regards to the 23-24 audit, what was captured on the audit action plan, I think the municipality only captured major issues because there were only 43 items on the web-based audit action plan. I mean 43 findings. 6 of those have not yet been started, and then 37 have not yet. 37 of those are still in progress. They have not been completed. So what we have is that the audit action plan is not complete on the web-based audit action plan. The other challenge that we still picking, Chairperson, is with regards to the expenditure. We are of the view that not all the expenditure is captured on the system, or the municipality is not capturing correctly, or maybe supervision is not there. My colleagues have advised me that the municipality does not report on grants. Expenditure is not regularly reported. When you look at performance, or look at financial performance, there's no expenditure. But on capital expenditure, there's a credit of 1.676 billion. So we don't know what's happening there. So it might be that some of the officials are not being trained properly, or perhaps there's no proper supervision. That's what we can gather, Chairperson. Thanks.
The MM is saying you have trained people there and also Salga. Maybe let's get that Lute's input.
Thank you. On the issue of the Section 71 reports, we know that the mayor is supposed to get them, and there was an issue last time, but we'll deal with that there when we get there. But the Section 71 report is also supposed to go to Treasury. Do you receive them? Have you received them for the past financial years, or is there a trouble with Section 71 reports?
Thank you, Chairperson. This information that I'm talking about, some colleagues that are dealing with the Section 71, they are reporting the section, they are receiving the Section 71s, but the information is not correct. As I've spoken about the grant reporting and the billion that's on the capital expenditure. Thanks.
That lobby, I don't know whether you might be having information in hand now on compliance matters, but if you don't have anything ready now, you can just note it and as you go back to the office, note that and give it to me, JK. in terms of what is the attitude of COGTA in relation to compliance matters from the municipality? Let me start with Melich.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just want to understand the 1.6 billion credit. Is it on the books or is the money physically in the account?
Thank you, Chairperson. That's the information on the Section 721. It's not physically money on in the account. Just what we read from the Section 721 report, which means that there's something not right. Hence, I spoke about either training or supervision of our officials might be a problem.
What has been the reaction of the department with such information?
Chairperson, my colleagues normally give feedback to municipalities with regards to the Section 71. So I might not, my impression that there has been communication with the municipality. I might be wrong, but under normal circumstances, on a monthly basis, there's interaction with municipalities, especially when things do not look right. Thanks.
Maybe in the meantime, whilst we are still interacting with the municipality, if possible, you might get an update from your colleagues if there's any on the matter. Medulande?
Thank you, Chairperson. If I then can proceed to ask the municipality, I just want to hear from the MM and the CFO. Have you held other positions within the Free State previously? Were you allocated to a different municipality before you came to Masilonyana? If we can maybe get info there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Let me note the report. Chair, they've reported on page 1 that there were payments made amounting to 140 million in those 4 financial years, and no supporting documentation could be found. So, I mean, that's I don't know how we should maybe investigate that, because there's 140 million rand missing, which nobody knows anything about. I see the mayor doesn't agree, so maybe she can answer that. Chair, and then the financial health, they said they collect 20 to 30%. What does their debtors book? What is the amount on the debtors book? Because there's no way that the municipality can function with a 20 to 30% collection rate. And what is the creditors? How many or creditors do you still owe, and who are they? And then lastly, Chair, if I can maybe get an update on their third-party payments. Do they owe any payments to third parties, and what is the amount and for what, if any? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I've got a couple of questions. You say that your audit skill has been done recently in 2023. Do you realize that you have to have an annual skills audit done every year? It's supposed to be done annually. It's supposed to be handed over to the local government sector, education and training and authority on an annual basis. So a skills audit is of vital importance to be able to run your municipality, because that means that your staff would be competent to be able to be doing the work that's been done. Then your billing system. The amount of complaints that we are receiving about your billing system is astronomical. There are businesses, for example, in Tennessee, which are only owned the company for 3 years, but is expected to pay for 14 years of use. And if it doesn't pay for 14 years, it's cut off. So the billing system is telling you that people haven't paid, people produce payment, proof of payment, proof that the bill is paid up, and yet you still go and cut off their immunities. So my question is, either your system is wrong, or the people administrating the system do not know how to work it. There are big problems. And you've spent a huge amount of money on this system. So if you could give me feedback on that. Then I find it very puzzling that you've only just, according to the report, put out an advert for tires and batteries for a tender for 7 days. Now, this question was given to you in July about the reason for your graders, why they aren't operating, why your vehicles aren't operating. You only put out a tender for it now. So that really does bother me, the fact that you only react once you know that you've got to account for it. Then your strikes, the political stability in the question that was requested on the amount of your staff and the amount of strikes that are had various things, if I may. There's health and safety concerns, Occupational Health and Safety Act, there's labor relations issues, basic terms of employment problems, compliance issues, and currently your offices are closed because people are complaining about they've got PPE problems. Now, I'm struggling to understand why you are sitting and you say to me that the mayor is now, what's the words used? In governance as well as functionality, their mandate finds expression in improving audit outcomes, service delivery, and better life for our communities. Clearly, that is not working. Clearly, you are not using your right avenues to resolve the issues. Otherwise, there wouldn't be strikes. There wouldn't be staff complaints. People would be quite happy to go to work every day. This is not happening. Then the 20% revenue collection that you're referring to, I have it on good authority. I'm assuming that you're talking about the 23-24 report and not the current collection rate, because your current collection rate, I have it on good authority, is only at 9%. So it's gone down. Could you give me clarity on that, please? And then last but not least, your vehicles that you purchased, did you do in the auction, did you do due diligence, which includes the vehicle service history, conditions, outstanding fines, licensing fees, for all those that were done that you purchased on the auction? And buying vehicles on the auction, is that in your actual municipality's procurement process? Does your municipality's procurement process allow for you to purchase vehicles on an auction? If you can give us proof of that as well, please. A copy of your procurement process where it states that you're allowed to buy vehicles from an auction, and especially if what the due process, if due processes weren't completed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, yes, I think Masilonyana, unfortunately, to my mind.
Let's start with the.
I must be that side. The seating arrangement is not proper, Chair. The leftist must be that side, the right, they must be this side. Yeah, thanks, Chair. I just want to check. How many accounts do you use? Do you have a primary account and secondary accounts? A secondary account in Masilonyana? The other thing that I want to check, I heard you, Mayor, introducing a chief whip. Do you have a chief whip as a municipality? as EXCO type of municipality. I heard you introducing a member of mayoral committee. Are you a mayoral type of a municipality or EXCO? Such that we are clear. But there's one thing that I want to check. Mayor, how often do you get section 71 reports that comes from the municipal manager to the mayor? How often? And then how often do you meet? All mayors in the province have been leading discussions. Did you get the presentation from the MM? And if you got a presentation from the MM, why you did not lead a charge? Because all mayors have been leading a charge. Chair, I think all municipalities that have been making presentation here, they are saying we're doing consequence management, but they do not recover money. They either suspend or fire a person. In terms of section 32, maybe I must just read it. I came with MFMA so that section 32 of MFMA is saying, Chair, let me check quickly. Yeah. It says, Chair, without limiting liability in terms of common law of legislation, political office bearers of the municipalities liable for unauthorized expenditure if that office bearer knowingly or after having been advised by the accounting office of the municipality that the expenditure is likely to result in unauthorized expenditure and instructed an official of the municipality to incur the expenditure. Subsection B, Chair, is saying accounting officer is liable for unauthorized expenditure deliberately, whether it committed deliberately or negligently by the accounting office, subject to subsection 3. Any political office bearer, official of a municipality who deliberately, negligently committed or made authorized irregular or wasteful expenditure is liable for that expenditure. Subsection 2, Chair, is saying municipality must recover unauthorized, irregular and wasteful expenditure from a person liable for the expenditure unless the expenditure in case is otherwise. Otherwise. So I've been listening here. I've been listening to the presentation. You charge people, you expel people. These people in one or the other because they are working. They've been to their workforce and the market for quite some time. They've been working for quite some time. They must be having a property somewhere. They must be having pension funds. Why is this 140 million not recovered from these people? We need to be told why it's not recovered, Chair. People of Winbeck, sewer is leaking into the dam. Ka Sesotho ba re batho ba Winbeck ba nwa mantle. The sewer is leaking into the dam. What are you doing in ensuring that such that these things are not happening again? The other issue, Chair, that I want to raise, I'm told some of your properties, including a refuse truck, they've been attached. What is happening? How do you intervene in that regard? Because you must provide services to our communities. I'm told you hired 100 general workers, and I'm told those general workers are not being paid in line with relevant legislations in line with your organogram. What is happening if were to be taken into confidence as far as those things are concerned? You have been there as early as 2023. CFO, you have been there as early as 2024. And we are told this time, you are saying to us, this time, we are coming with a credible consultant company to do FAS reports. Are you saying last time you deliberately did not take a credible company? And if you are saying you took a credible company, what assurance do we have now that this one is credible company? Because you always take consultants and then they do AFS reports, but when this AFS, the Auditor General is to give an opinion, every time you get a disclaimer, and I'm told you get a disclaimer, having got that disclaimer, you regressed. Executive, Mayor and Speaker, I would want to hear from you. Why should you continue to lead that municipality? Why don't you just accept? How about we implement Section 139C? Because after 9 years, consecutively, you have not been performing in that municipality. Okay, let's leave 9 years up until 2021, 22, 23, 24, we're in 2025. Next year, you are going for elections. What are you going to do miraculously such that you address situation of that municipality of Masilonyana? Can we be taken into confidence as to whether what is you are going to do differently? But lastly, Chair, I want to talk about overpayment. I'm told you are overpaying yourselves. As Section 56 and Section 57 managers, you are overpaying yourselves. And as you answer us, please remember you are under oath. You took an oath. We'll gladly appreciate if you answer honestly to us as the committee. And if my memory serves me well, where you come from in Mafube, this issue of overpayment, it has been there. Where you were there were issues around your overpayment. Can we be taken into confidence that what informs you overpaying yourself in a municipality as bankrupt as Masilonyana, where people want services and then you find yourself in a position of overpaying yourself? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, yes. Chair, unfortunately, Masilonyana, to my mind, is a textbook example of a failed local government. If you look to the complete disclaimer since 2019, 5 years full disclaimer, the AG says the municipality is doing harm to its residents. I mean, that's contrary to the mandate of local government. It's doing harm to the residents of that municipality. And it's quite clear if one just goes and looks at the weak financial governance and the lack of consequence management in that municipality, why it's in such a dire state. And the financial recovery plan of Masilonyana since November 2023, I think as a committee, we need to have a look at this financial recovery plan. But we must also ask the question to provincial government, especially Kooperative, Program 5, municipal management, financial management. You know, since these disclaimers have been coming for long, what has Kooperative done provincially? What has provincial treasury done in terms of assisting this municipality? And then as a committee, we must even actually then consider as one of our resolutions, asking for a financial intervention, 139, financial intervention, because this ongoing harm that's being perpetrated in this municipality is very worrisome. And if one looks, for one, to the underspending of the grants alone, in 2023, 174 million underspent on conditional grants. And if one looks to the current section 717 conditional grants of this year, by 30 June 2025, Masilonyana had 60 million in conditional grants and 0% spent. This is in terms of the section 717 report. So it just shows you very little seems to be done in that municipality. But we need to hear, in terms of the FRP, what's going on with the FRP. Is there a turnaround? Is there a strategy? But we have to also get feedback from Kochta, from Provincial Treasury, in terms of their assistance to this textbook case of a failed municipality. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. Last year, the Human Rights Commission declared that Free State municipalities and the poor services they're delivering are human rights abuses. And I see South Africans even going to other countries to proclaim they might perhaps stop there and come to the Free State with their assistance and aid to the residents of this province and not go to other countries. Chair, but the Human Rights Commission in their recommendations spoke about sewage spills and various other things in this municipality. But the last recommendation is they should, within 3 months of receipt of this report, submit to the South African Human Rights Commission a comprehensive council-approved plan on how it plans to address the poor audit outcomes. So based on this, my questions are, was this report tabled in council? Did you comply with all of these issues relating to water, sanitation, and the audit report which they're seeking, or the plan which they're seeking to fix your municipality? Did this go to council? Was this approved by council? And if so, why was it necessary in June this year for the South African Human Rights Commission to get a court order forcing you to supply certain services and the necessary infrastructure for the service to be provided? Because this is not just a report we're talking about. These things actually affect the human rights of our people. And these rights of residents are being violated by the people sitting in front of us, who are supposed to protect the people's rights, deliver the services, ensure that finances are managed correctly. And Chair, they must tell us what they've done regarding these reports and the recommendations, because if they in fact do what they're supposed to do and implement these recommendations, perhaps they wouldn't have to explain many of the issues which they're explaining here today, and the questions which they're receiving from this committee. Because people churn out reports, this committee will also submit a report, and we'll see next year whether they in fact have complied with it. I've heard now that they're increasing their salaries. To do what? Not to deliver services, obviously. So what are you doing for the salaries that you're getting? Thank you, Chair.
Chair, thanks. We met the municipality of Mafube as part of this exercise. And the municipality, in unison, raises the many regular issues which were committed in that municipality by the former MM and the CFO. And the fact that the two of you left that municipality under a very serious cloud. And when we asked them if they do know about your whereabouts, they said they don't know.
can the MM and the CFO take us into confidence? That's number one. Number two, related to that, there's a story about the private bank account, which at face value, we are appraised that it was done at Mafube. And if I remember well, during the visit of the NA Portfolio Committee, the issue also came up that it is also been done at Masilonyana. What are the issues here? And I don't want to speculate, Chair, probably before the response. I think the request here is that can we be taken on board and maybe, Chair, from those responses, we will then formulate issues as to what should happen moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Let me also welcome the report. Chair, the report of the AG shows that MM and Mayor, they don't do their oversight work according to the MFA. I think Honorable Msimang has already alluded on some of those sections. Chair, I have only two questions. The first one is, how is their revenue collection? How are they are collecting? Maybe if we can get, we can have a sense on that. And the last one, Chair, is how many litigation they have as municipality. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. This municipality has been in the forefront of human rights violations for as long as anyone can remember the existence of this municipality. Currently, and it's been like this for quite a few years, having water is an exception, not a rule. There are more water troubles than there are water in that municipality. I'm not going to delve too deep in the issue between the municipal manager and the CFO. I think we are waiting for reports by the MEC and a declaratory order by the MEC on the CFO. And I think also on the investigation of the mayoral vehicle, which was the issue last time. I'm wondering, why is there a difference between the Section 71 reports, or why is there errors or mistakes or lack of reality on the Section 71 reports you send and what Treasury is picking up? Why is that happening? To Chairperson, I'm going to put it to this committee that, in my view, there is absolutely no respect for accountability in this municipality. No respect. Municipal manager, according to your rules and orders, you are supposed to place all the questions, all the Rule 52 and 38 questions on the agenda if they are handed in 10 weeks prior to meetings. You're supposed to put them on the agenda for the next ordinary meetings. From one councillor I've contacted, there are 42 unanswered questions. That's one councillor. So you're not being held accountable. And in fact, I'm going to state it that you don't care about accountability. Then there is the whole issue of the Mafumi Consulting. You know what I'm talking about. And the appointment of Mafumi Consulting was actually irregular. The court said that where people were supposed to pay money into Mafumi Consulting, who were supposed to then pay back to Eskom, and then what's left was supposed to be paid into the municipality's account. Have you received any money from Mafumi Consulting in that terrible contract you went forward with? Did the municipality receive any money from Mafumi Consulting? Thank you, Chairperson.
So over to you, Majuro and the team.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members. Chairperson, I think when we deliberate on issues of Masilonyana, we must also take into account that there are many historical happenings that were happening in the municipality. And I think in the last time to the portfolio committee, I even raised an issue that from 2020 to 2021, when we enter into administration, we found that the municipality's SEM was run by a consultant, of which we did terminate the contract of that appointed consultant to run an SEM. There were many contracts that were awarded by that Nota Azania. That was the name of the consultant. Others contracts were about 70, 60 to completion. And we seek advice from Treasury is where we were advised to say we should take it to council and declare those contracts irregular. And I must also admit to say that by then we do have a huge gap in the finance department in terms of issues of billing and whatsoever. And even the delay to make appointments, particularly on senior managers, because the CFO resigned the technical director resigned in 2014, but the appointment was only done in 2020. The CFO resigned in 2018, and the appointment was only done in 2021. From there, it was junior staff that were acting in those particular positions. That is where we got into this. And the other thing on the issue of the intervention, some of the interventions that happened in the municipality, they are the one who put us where we are as a municipality. I must state it. Masilonyana was put under section 139. Let me do twice, but let me take this one of 2017, whereby when the provincial government invoked section 139 to the municipality, upon the upliftment of the section 139 to the municipality, there's no handover report that is been sent to the council, tabled to the council. There was a company that was appointed by the provincial government, Cooperative, for a period of 3 years to assist the municipality from 2017 to assist the municipality with the annual financial statement. And this company, Fezi Consulting, did appoint Volusco to do assets. When the municipality was uplifted from 139, we never get any report from these two consultants. It's only in 2023 where during this council we took a resolution to make sure that we have all the directorates in each and every department. Hence, we said we have a full bench of directors. Indeed, Chairperson, I did get the Section 71 reports, of which sometimes sometimes did came and explain. We discussed the Section 71 when we make a quarterly report that will be tabled to council. So I will give to the to respond to others. As for the question that as mayors, we do have mayoral forum, if I get the question correctly. We have never, since I've been a mayor, we have that such. We only sit on the political IGR. only, whereby the health sector department come and present the status of the municipality. Thank you. I will give to the to respond to others and the CFO. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will share the questions between myself and the CFO. Which municipality have I worked at Free State? I worked for Mangaung for 10 years as a city manager, 2006 to,
Ke kopa o buelle ka,
okay.
otherwise, ha ba kgone.
The first question was, which municipalities have I worked at? And I said the first one is from 1996 to 2006 as city manager of Mangaung. And 2017, I worked at Mafube, firstly as an administrator for a year, and then MM for 2 years. I'll discuss in detail issues around my stay at that municipality when I respond to questions from Honorable Meagwa. And I'm currently at Masilonyana.
O arabe nna, o ska araba anyone.
Okay.
All those questions are mine.
Point taken, Chairperson. Yeah. And then in between, I've worked at other municipalities before I came to Masilonyana. I was working at Northwest as a representative of a council or stroke administrator at Dr. Ruth Mampati. The second question around 140 million, I'll just provide a high-level answer here. CFO will go into details. What we are talking about, we are saying in prior years, there were vouchers to the amount of 140 million that would not be easily found or that were not captured in the system. I'll make a typical example. While later that number was reduced significantly, it's as a result of BTO going to other service providers trying to get vouchers back. For example, ELSCOM and water boards and all that, you know. So it's not necessarily money that it's missing. It's invoices that were there that you had to put in the system to be able to account for them. But CFO will talk to that in detail, as well as issue of debt book and creditors, an account as to how much percentage in terms of revenue. He'll deal with that. Issue around third parties. Yes, we have third parties that are owed. The large one being Sala, I think to the tune of 100 million plus, but we do have an arrangement in place to be making payment towards that. There's another municipal fund which used to be called SAMU Fund previously. It's owed around 11 million. There's also an arrangement in place. Remember also, we could not have gotten equitable share if we are not having arrangements with third parties. We also have an arrangement with SARS in terms of payments that we are doing, as well as ESCOM, in terms of mainly being a bulk supply. So we honor third parties' payments. Yes, the arrangements that have been made with those. And these are legacy issues. It's issues that I think because of not having leadership at the administrative level, that's why some of the things fell between the cracks, and also considering what also the mayor has just mentioned. Yeah. Yes, we have an audit skills. We have done audit skills, as I've said. We do have SDF, meaning somebody who's a facilitator in respect of that, who from time to time just make sure that we do the requisite, we report to relevant CETA, being our LG CETA in this instance. CFO will speak on the billing system. The issue of political stability, also as it refers to either unions going on strike or community making protests, I'll talk to, for example, give a typical example of what is happening now, and you will appreciate that at times this is a matter of a pushback. What has been happening that we agreed and were supported by council was that we need to manage issue of an overtime. Over a period of time, we would have around 7 million annually that is paid on overtime. What I've since introduced and instructed directors is that there must be prior approval in terms of overtime, something that has not been happening. So it was easily abused because you can self-create and not do work during working hours, but only after 4:30 you start that because you are going to claim overtime. And what this has done, because it has been ingrained for a long period of time, employees' budget, including overtime. If, for example, you know that we're supposed to get 10,000 per month, but if you rely on this other 10,000 to make it 20,000, when we strictly say that we are not going to be paying it, they get affected. And I think that is in the main what the issues are. And one of the demand is to go into a grading system that will result into task, and with the belief that with task, the salary would increase, which is not necessarily the case. So that's what is creating unhappiness. There's been an issue, again, that is on the table that relates to PPE, something that we already attending to. And then on Monday, we had leadership of unions and then shared the information. Like I said, delivery is today and on Monday. So some of the stability could also be self-created. In other instances, we have evidence of where there will be tampering of, as I've mentioned, whether it's valves or some of our equipment, such that there is no water. And in some instances, you'd find that it will be also some of our employees where we take disciplinary measures and also hand them to open criminal cases. So there are those few elements, work elements, which possibly could have been the culture of the organization where consistently there's not been administrative leadership. So the cracks were there. We are putting measures in place. So that's why I'm saying that this could be a result of a pushback. The question around the vehicles that have been bought from auction, yes, due diligence is done on those. Like I've mentioned that most of those vehicles are licensed and are roadworthy. Yeah, CFO can also say a word or two on that. And the issue of accounts. A municipality is expected to have a primary account. Primary account, it's an account that you operate from. If you buy water, whatever, you do it through that account. It's not allowed through FMA to have secondary account. You can have lots of secondary accounts, but you are not allowed to transact through those accounts. And it has not happened elsewhere where I've been the municipal manager that would have been allowed. I'll also, when I talk about Mafube, come back to that issue of accounts. So as it relates to Masilonyana, there's a primary account, and then there's a secondary. A secondary account, it's basically an investment account. That's where you put money so that it accrues interest, and then it's in the best of, yeah. So I've been answering this a lot, and I think CFO also go into details to explain that. Mayor has responded on the EXCO and Chief Whip. Yes, Mayor responded also on the Section 71 reports. CFO would also, I think, talk to this in respect of the amount of 1.6 billion that is mentioned, just to clarify that. Issue of consequence management. Like I've said, we are also pointing out in the report cases where council has taken subjected officials, to that. Yes, what is important is that there needs to be an investigation, especially if it's a financial misconduct. And out of this, that's why we have an NPEC, which have been trained, and reports are also would be forthcoming to council, where if there's a suggestion or the recommendation that A has committed either fraud or whatever, as a result of that action would be taken. But it goes firstly to the level of being an investigation. We also have a external audit committee and performance committee, which they are also working closely with MPEC. So it will also be making it much easier to investigate and provide those. In cases where it leads to recovery, that will take place. We have mentioned that we've got lots of cases that with the law enforcement agencies, with the Hawks, SIU, and yeah, so there is a consequence as a result of that, yeah. In relation to sewer in Windberg, we do have material irregularity that was born out from 2018, and then we do have a project that is dealing with that out sewer so that it mitigates against the spillages that are taking place there. So that is vehicles that are attached. We don't have vehicles that are attached. At the time that there was an attachment by service provider, HP Litula, the matter was sorted out, and then we've got those vehicles back. Number of employees that were employed. We have service delivery appointments that were made. For longest period of time, Masilonyana was using EPWP workers that were in the main doing work that is supposed to be done by the general workhouse of Masilonyana. So what we had done was to absorb those. We have advertised the positions, but they were in the main, the first ones online. And the matter was discussed at LLF with unions that over a period of time, there would be a certain salary that they would get until our position has improved. So that has been done through the right processes through LLF. The next question has to do with that I've been appointed since 2023 with been with the municipality for a period of time, CFO 2020. Like we have shown in our presentation, that we've got a full contingent of senior managers. And part of the problem of the municipality for whatever years that it has been receiving disclaimer, like I've said, there's been also a lack of leadership at that administrative level. You've had people acting most of the time, and others would be on suspension. So that had an effect on the municipality in respect of morale, in respect of culture, in respect of discipline and all that. So we are servicing a car that is running here, part of what could be, what is termed political instability or protests and all that, it's also people who are resisting that transformation, that change that has to happen. But we are firm, especially as administrative leadership, in relation to that. And I can attest, councils also, in the last deliberation in council, they admit that they're seeing some improvements in other areas. We've got a technical director who's very energetic, is doing things that even previous technical directors or acting were not being able to do, in relation to Winberg and all that. So there has been an improvement. We've got director of planning who's new, a directorate that we do not have. We are making strides in relation to that. We are looking at our LED strategy and improving and trying to make the municipality a place to invest. So it's the new director that deals with community services. She has been there. She was at the municipality for 10 years previously in that position and also has acted as MM. So it's a solid team. And for the first time, we have performance contracts that are having targets and what have you. So it's tying up something that has not been taking place in the municipality for a period of time for the reasons that have advanced, lack of administrative leadership. So that there is an improvement for those who are closely noticing what we are doing. Issue of overpayment. Let me start on the issue of Mafube. Like I've mentioned that when I went to Mafube,
Can I request the one of Mafube, you pack it?
pardon?
You pack it, you are going to come back to it. I'm saying, I request that you respond to others and pack the one of Mafube. You'll come back to it, yes.
Thank you, Chair. I'll do that. Issue of conditional grants. Since our arrival, okay, there was in my first year where Treasury was demanding us to pay back, how much was it? I think 21 million. And meaning that in the prior year before I arrived, it could have been utilized for operational purposes. We negotiated with Treasury not to take that money at one go, but over a period of time. And which has happened, and we are no longer owing. So I'm not aware of any conditional grants, even the amount that has been mentioned that has gone back. I had an amount of 60. CFO would verify that, and council would know about it if there was such. Yeah. So we have improved on issues of making sure that we spent on conditional grant. The only conditional grant that was taken from us, it's RBIC. It's now with Val Central. It's working on it, so it's not in the books of the municipality. We have gone to strat plan as a municipality. As a result of portfolio committee being here around June, we have also done a turnaround strategy that we have both submitted to province as well as to the portfolio committee. It's got clear target. It's also linked with our key performance areas. And in there, we also have council has agreed that we do our financial recovery plan, but it's not mandatory, because if it's mandatory, it has to be initiated by National Treasury and all that, but it's something that we are doing on our own, and we've got the support of a technical advisor who has been deployed by National Treasury. So it's we have linked that with our turnaround strategy. We have also linked our municipal SIP, where we are assisted by both Cooperative, province and national. It's part of our turnaround strategy, and there are targets, and then we report to Cooperative in relation monthly in relation to those. The issue with Human Rights Commission, I've addressed it earlier to say that yes, when there were complaints that were late at the time, we elected not to oppose the court order, and then we said we'll abide with the decision of court, and then we have since done that. We all the things that we were supposed to be doing, we are doing that, and then we make sure that even our lawyers provide the lawyers on the other side periodically what happens. We know we also received a letter about 2 weeks ago, which we have responded to HRC, where as a result of vandalism in Windberg, there were houses that were not getting water. As soon as we were alerted to that, the technical team arranged, and then they dealt with the matter. In terms of oversight, I've mentioned that we have a responsibility at the leadership level to make sure that we do our job, and the directors they are also enthusiastic in terms of making sure that they are cascading the performance agreements to lower levels, especially the middle management and supervisory level. On the matter of litigation, I've mentioned that when we arrived at the register of litigation was quite high. I mean, excluding whoever third parties that were owing and all that, it was around to the tune of 160 million. We have since dealt with major litigants, and like I said, when they realized that yes, new leadership at administrative level. Everybody was taking chances, bringing invoices that had some others even 5 years and all that. So we had to go through that and then challenge others. And then others would be cases where, you know, previous employees were reckless in terms of either negotiating contracts or even in terms of making agreements. They would put money that they know that the municipality would not have. So we have dealt with those, and that has put a lower risk in terms of attachments. We have a litigation strategy in place where we are assisted by a provincial COCTA, and I think it's dealing with that. Issue of questions that are being asked by councillors. I mean, first and foremost, it's an area where we assist the speaker. It's a councillors who, through whatever they want speaker to respond to whatever, but it's us as administration that deal with us, and then our standing rules and all that is quite clear in terms of what needs to happen. We need to investigate, and certain questions that fall outside what I think it's mandated. I think councillors are aware what needs to happen, and that matter has been discussed, and speaker and officials in my office have agreed that if there were any outstanding issues, we will deal with those. At times, it will be questions that have already been dealt with. You know, for example, we'd get questions, councillors asking, how far is the issue of the CFO when the item is already on the agenda? But it can't be true that we are not doing anything about it. We certainly are. Issue of Mafumo. Mafumo, you'd remember, it's a contract that was nullified by court, you know. And so when we arrive as new administration, they abruptly switched off the lights. And we had to go to court to say that you can't live in that manner. There are certain things that you need to do. You wait for us until we get a new service provider. But in the meantime, we also need, because there were also a vending, you know, then there was out of court agreement wherein they were phased out. Council has taken a decision on that, and then we are aware of certain big commercial companies that are owing us, and then for us is to just get the records from Ideal, so that on our own we try to chase those monies. It's something that we are doing, and then council has already identified a service provider who will deal with this. In the next council, we will be taking the item where we are discussing the financial implications and all that. Yeah. Chairperson, I would pause here and give over to the CFO, and then maybe later discuss Mafube's story after the CFO. Thank you.
Thank you, MM. It's 1:04. I suggest that we break for lunch. CFO, please note the questions, and members would also note unanswered questions. And let's break for lunch and come back at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Honorable members, let's get back to our seats. CFO, I suggest you continue.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson and other Honorable MPs. I will start with the question of the unfunded budget as raised in this platform. Yes, Chairperson, indeed, our budget is unfunded. However, through the engagement that we had with provincial treasury, because of normally they got a dedicated team that we normally discuss these issues of the budget with them, we are advised to perform or to compile a budget plan that will be monitored on a monthly basis, and then we are doing that. We submit reports on the monthly basis on the e-portal. So on the monthly basis, they review it for implementation of our budget. However, they further suggested that during our mid-year assessment report in February, when we submit our adjustment budget, that's when we can deal with other items to ensure that our budget is funded. However, indeed, our budget is unfunded, but we support it in terms of that funding plan. We had a backlog of our creditors book. When we started there, our creditors book was standing on 700 million, Chairperson. However, we managed to approach various creditors. We entered into payment arrangements with those creditors, and some of them we settled them as per our signed arrangement. So that's why we got that unfunded budget. But we are working on that. We compiled an action plan on how are we going to address that challenge. Even the COCTA, they got a dedicated team that is visiting our municipality on a quarterly basis. This part of an unfunded budget is part of that. So we are addressing it. The issue of capital project on our MSCOA, why do we have 160 million that is lying there? I'm not sure about the amount. However, I will rely on the amount that has been mentioned by provincial treasury. Yes, I can attest to that. Before, what is happening? As far as MSCOA is concerned, you need to recognize grants when we receive as a municipality. So when we make payments, when we implement our projects, normally that part is missing. It's because of misalignment in our MSCOA. However, this is a technical error. We engage the service provider to assist in terms of clearing that error because of our system. Once we captured our grants, when we make payment, they must align. So that amount of 160 million must reduce once we made payment. But currently, it was not doing that. Through the intervention of the MM, we called the service provider to come down to the municipality, and then we compiled action plan as well. We gave our deadline on how we're going to fix that. Even the provincial treasurer, I think 3 weeks back, we had a meeting where we were discussing all these issues, Chairperson. So we came with the time frame to resolve on this issue. It's not only the grants. We had a challenge even in terms of our payroll system. The municipality is utilizing 2 systems for payments. We got another system for billing and paying of creditors. And then we got another system for paying of salaries. So those systems are not interlinked. So we are in the process of doing that. So normally on a monthly basis, sometimes the data pertaining to employee costs, it will not be captured at the other system. But we are working on that. I called down the two service providers, and then they are currently working on that. I think the progress is on 90% to make sure that we align the two systems to talk one language, Chairperson. There was another question regarding where did I work before. I worked at Mansupa Local Municipality Chairperson. I was appointed as an internal audit manager for a period of 5 years. During that 5 years, I was again appointed as an acting CFO for a period of 2 years in that municipality. So in 2018, I was appointed at Mafube Local Municipality there as a CFO. However, during I think my 3 years term, I was charged as a CFO. One of my charge was not opening a new bank account, Chairperson. The council took a resolution that a new bank account must be opened. There is a council resolution to support that. The items served before ESCO.
Can we talk about the issues of Mafube at the end, so that
Okay.
you know why I don't want us to conflate issues of Masilonyana with the issues of Mafube.
Okay.
Unless if I'm not aware that there's interlink between finances of Masilonyana and those of Mafube.
Yes, there is interlinked because of there was issue that we open a private bank account in Masilonyana. Yes, it was posed by a honorable.
It was me who was asking.
Okay.
So I'm just saying I want us to deal with finances of Masilonyana.
Okay.
So that those issues, we then pack them and respond to them later. And
Okay. Now, thanks, Chairperson, for a direction. There was an issue about transacting outside the financial system, and then MM just touched on the 140 million that we could not avail the supporting documentation for audit purposes, Chair. This matter is a legal matter, but to address it, what we did, we went back to various suppliers, people who who provided service in Masilonyana. They managed to give us these invoices. Hence, now the progress in terms of submission, the submission of information to Auditor General, we are standing in a good progress because of all the information has been submitted, Chairperson. Where we could not get the information is only few. A person was charged in terms of that. Finally, he was dismissed from Masilonyana, so MM just going to execute criminal charges to that official because of we got a proof that we can pursue that case further. In terms of the debtors book, our debtors book is standing on 1.6 million. This 1.6 million, Chairperson, we got mines around Masilonyana. Sibanye, they owe us something like 170 million. They never paid that municipality for property rates because of their saying they launched a dispute long ago in 2012, 13, if I'm not mistaken. That matter was never addressed. So we had engagement with those officials at the mine, and then we agreed that to resolve this matter, they must call their evaluator, and then municipality will come with our evaluators as well. We start that process from the scratch, and then they will be able to pay. The same thing with the Harmony mine. Harmony Mine as well, they owe us something like 80 million as well, Chairperson. So it's the same matter because of they are acquiring our property rate. So we are going to take the same approach. So once, if we can collect these monies from those mines, Chairperson, I'm telling you our problems will be resolved. I know the mayor is part of those engagements. So we just need to meet with the finance people of the mines and our finance, and then once we have done with our investigation, even the investigations, that report will be tabled to that committee for going forward for implementation. They are saying they don't have a problem. Once we can resolve this matter, they will be able to pay those millions to the municipality. I think on the third-party payments, Chairperson, yes, this municipality, we got other pension third-party payments that we are owing. Before we started in this municipality, employees were complaining about their salaries. They never get our salaries on a monthly basis. They will get maybe after 3 months so. But I can attest, since our appointments there, we are able to pay the salaries on the monthly basis continuously without any hiccup. Chairperson, the medical aids that were not paid, we are able to settle those medical aids. Some of the pension funds we able to pay. We are only left with SALA, and then we entered into a payment arrangement, and then there is a SAMU Provident Fund as well. We entered into payment arrangement as far as those pensions are concerned. So we must just improve our revenue collection to ensure that we settle all our third-party payments. But I'm saying, if we can get those millions from mines, we are going to settle these third-party payments. They are historical as well, Chairperson, but we are doing best to try to settle those outstanding monies. Our billing system, yes, we got challenges as far as our billing system is concerned. However, majority of those errors, we managed to resolve them. People launched dispute in Boma 2011, 2017, and those disputes were never addressed. So I started from 2011 to try to address all those disputes so that our people they can start paying. And some of our challenges again, when I conducted electric meter in terms of electricity, most of our residents were not even paying a cent as far as that electricity is concerned to the municipality. All our meters were passed. So we conducted an audit. We are in the process of correcting all those meters. Hence, now we are appointed a telecom to assist us in terms of installation of new meters so that we can collect our monies. Sunvest, we got a big company around there, Sunvest. They owe us something like 8 million for electricity only. They never pay a cent since 2021. So this week we went and then disconnected them. They took us to court as well. And then they got a remedy that we must just reconnect them for a few days once we are resolving this matter. And then we must go and defend our case in court. So next week we'll be in court. So I'm expecting to collect those millions from Sunvest. When I went there to disconnect, I met with one manager, and then the manager said, you cannot disconnect us, we are going to lose a profit. But I told them, what about us? Because of ESCOM is looking for its money. So we must disconnect so that we can lose as well. So we did that, we reconnected them yesterday, Chairperson. So we're implementing our credit control policy to the latter, Chairperson, to ensure that we collect all our monies, but we needed to start where we clear all the disputes that were launched by our residents. And then the council as well approved the debt incentives to give our people discount in terms of payments. And then we write off another payments, like if we are households, we give you 50% and then we write off another 50% to settle off the account. Businesses is 30% and then they pay us 70%. So we are going to embark on that program, Operation Patala, from next week. We'll be running around all towns to try to collect our monies, Chairperson. Yes, our collection rate is very low because of we are ranging between 20% to 30%. The 9% that was quoted, it was only for a specific month, but overall, on average, we are ranging between 20% to 30%. But it's still not okay because of, in terms of the National Treasury, they are saying norm is supposed to be 95%. So if we can get our billing correct, I'm telling you, we are going to hit that 95% Chairperson, because of we are going to focus on our billing on the daily basis, on the monthly basis. We will be doing follow-up on our monies. The procurement of cars at the auction. Yes, we got an approved supply chain management police. This was done through the division, Chairperson, section 32, 36 of our police. Why we divided? That section is says if a service can be provided by by single service provider, you can divide. You can divide as a result of emissions as well. So if you got a bid specification committee and then the result that let's buy Mercedes-Benz, I'm just giving a practical example. The Mercedes-Benz, we can get it from John Williams. Why do we need to go to advertise and people, they put their own profit margin on top of that car? So it's wise to deviate and then we get that car direct from the supplier. Auction, we went to Toyota, we went to Nissan because we are out of the bikes. And then we got those bikes very cheap, Chairperson. We save lots of runs. I got the report that I prepared. I can avail it before you, Chairperson, for inspection as well. So we make lots of savings out of that. And then those cars, we can go there in our municipality, check the condition of those cars. They are brand new. They are good in terms of for service, to do service delivery. They are running very well. We procured 9 bikes. We procured 3 TLBs because of we wanted to ensure that every town around Masilonyana, they got their own TLBs. Before we had only 1 TLB. When we have to dig graves, the TLB from Winberg will travel around all these towns, and then we don't have that car that we will take it there. They will be driving from Winberg to Vivi, after Vivi, Brantford, and then it got to break down now and then. So hence we decided that no, let's buy a TLB for each town, and then we can be able to deal with the issue of the illegal dumpings and then digging of graves, and then we don't have any problem as far as that is concerned. That is the achievement that we made in that municipality. Where we operated without an internet, even the telephones, I think for the past 4 years, they didn't have telephones. But now we got telephones connected. If you want to get hold of us, you just phone a landline, you will get us. So even people, when they were wanting to lodge the complaints, it was an issue because of they had to phone us using our mobile contact numbers, and our official will not maybe sometimes pick up. But now we got this designated lines where they can contact for any complaints, even if they got challenges, and then the municipality will just dispatch team to go there to address that. Yes, how many accounts we have? I think touched on that. We got ABSA as a primary bank account, FNB that was open as well. it was open through council resolution. This item served before ESCO and council, and then it was open. It's for investment. In terms of MFMA Section 8, it says the municipality can have more than one account, bank account, but they must just designate one account as a main primary account where their monies and the payments will be done from. So this one we are only utilizing it for investment, and is in the name of the municipality, not my name, Chairperson. Issue of consequence management. We got 2 cases of fraud around Masilonyana, Chairperson, from our employees. 2 cases were open as part of consequence management, where these people were dismissed from the service. However, we went further to open a criminal charges with the police, and then these cases are still under investigation. However, we got evidence as well that fraud was committed. The issue of the cars that were attached, yes, in the past, I think touched on it. Our cars were attached, however, they were returned back upon the payment that we have made. The issue of the overpayments of Section 56 managers, Chairperson. This matter was raised last year during the audit by Auditor General. However, I'm in dispute with this audit finding. Why I'm saying that? HR, before they put advert on the newspaper, they will provide their specification, their requirements in terms of that particular advert. And then they will send that advert to COGTA without any amount. And then COGTA, when they are happy after their assessment with the advert, they will put in the amount. So the amount that I'm paying for myself is the amount that was appointed with. That is appearing on the newspaper when I applied in that municipality. So this was done through the advice of COGTA. So this upper limit that was implemented, I think, is it 2 years back or last year, where you need to perform the assessment as far as upper limits of senior management is concerned. After they perform that, they are saying, because I've been paying in terms of level 3, Auditor General says, no, after we perform our assessment, this municipality was supposed to be on level 2. So meaning you are overpaying yourself. Hence, I'm saying I'm paying myself in terms of the amount that I applied for that post as per newspaper. However, that information, Chairperson, we can avail it before you as well, that we did consult COGTA. But I'm going to perform that calculation as well, because of this municipality was never audited before. Because of we are transacting outside the financial system, and the figures maybe that were used at that time, last financial year, were inaccurate. So because of now, we went back. We make sure that we capture everything on our financial system. I'm going to reperform that calculation to check if we cannot go maybe to level 3, Chairperson. But in the previous years, Auditor General did not audit those financial statements, they rejected them. But when they calculated our salaries, they based their figures on those unaudited financial statements. But this time, I'm sure about the figures, I'm happy. Even in terms of the audit outcome, Chairperson, it's going to improve. And that is the commitment I made before the scope, that yes, this municipality has been getting this name for the past 8 years. But come this year, you will see the status quo as far as external audit is concerned. It's going to change. If we don't change, I'm telling you, some of the paragraphs that led us to disclaimer, they are going to be reduced to a small number because of their way this claim with every line item as far as AFS are concerned. But now we are providing supporting documentation to Auditor General. The status quo is going to change under this financial year for the first time. The issue of unspent conditional grants as well, Chairperson. I got my register here. I'm performing the record as far as those grants are concerned. Yeah, in the past, yes, we had a huge amount pertaining to that, but since our appointments there, last financial year, I think we got only the disaster management grant that we did not spend, but we have been given a time to implement it by end of March next year. There is a grant of EEDG. We only unspent 1 million. We applied for rollover from National Treasury. That year, I think it was only 5.2. So we are implementing those projects or paying or utilizing that grant as expected, because of in the past that amount was utilized for other purposes like paying of salaries. But now we open a separate bank account where we reinvest all money pertaining to grants. So we are implementing those grants, that money as expected, Chairperson. We don't have any challenge. There is another issue of what? No, the one of the Section 71 reports. I've agreed with it. We are working on that. I think, Chairperson, that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks, CFO. These days we have CFOs who put too much praise on themselves more than the work. That's what you are reflecting, CFOs. You are not the only one. I think you are the third one out of municipalities that came here. I don't know whether you are aware that CFOs that came before you in these municipalities were also saying the same, especially on the deaths of the mines. But you have not touched on what Treasury has said, because what they were reflecting on is what they are receiving now, not what was received before you came. And you have not addressed that, except from what you are reflecting, you are outsourcing that service to consultant. How much are you paying for consultants?
Chairperson, which service?
How much are you paying for consultants in the municipality?
No, general. Consultants, I think, is 3. We appointed people to assist us with the compilation of annual financial statement for 3.2 million this year. They've been appointed for a period of 2 years. In all is 6 million. There is another consultant like the CCG, the service financial system service. We're paying them something like 6 million.
You are busy with audits now.
Yes.
The question I'm asking, you should be having it because it's part of what auditors will be dealing with when they ask you as CFO, how much are you paying for consultants in the institution? So that you can then go to the point of saying, developing a plan to reduce usage of consultants. You can then be able to measure and reducing that, you know what you have to deal with. What is it that you have to do to reduce payment to consultants? So at the moment, out of your head, you should be knowing. Because you know the manner in which you are responding, you are reminding me about that deputy national commissioner when responds. He doesn't go straight to the answer. He goes around and around. So that's why I'm asking you a direct question. How much are you paying for consultants? Because just as an example, Metsimaholis is paying more than 13 million. What is another municipality saying? Paying about 7 million, and so on and so on. So that's why I'm saying, as the CFO, you should be knowing.
No, thanks, Chairperson. I will not give you an exact figure, but we are not paying that much for consultants. The consultant,
You can't say not much. When you started saying one, you are paying for 2 million. 2 million is
I wanted to go
it's a
to
lot
that
of money.
one of EFS, compilation of EFS is 7.2 million, but we got a plan as well. We have established another department in our municipality.
CFO, can you write it down and send it back to us?
Okay.
And coupled with that, it should be consultancy reduction plan. Now, the issue that was raised by Treasury on capacitation of the unit, your unit, all the units under you, because what the MM raised was that there has been training, but from what is coming out of this, and also from the responses that you are giving, that capacity is not there. So that this interaction should be where you become honest to your situation and expect to have a plan to capacitate yourselves to move out of that. The problem that this municipality is having is that sometimes there's been a lot of untruths about the obtaining situation, which only reflects at the level of audit. So it should be that we should have an attitude to say, how are we changing this situation? And before you can say we change the situation, you must then accept the problems that are obtaining, and then say, then we have to move from here and move forward. I have a whole lot of questions, but I wanted to have members making follow-up. I saw Ntate Msimanga and Ntate Meko and Ntate Klute and Ntate Makai. In that order.
Thanks, Chair. On a written response to the committee, please, that argument that you are raising around issue of overpayments, please write something on black and white such that we are able to argue, because I don't understand if now we believe on a newspaper more than an act of parliament. Please write that down such that we are able to understand what you are talking about. But also you spoke, MM.
No, the CFO is
No.
talking about something which happened when he did not arrive, but is able to respond on it. He says concurrence was received from, or that amount was put by Cogta, but he was not there. He reacted to an advert. So he's responding to something that happened when he was not there. So that's why I'm saying
It's even worse, Chair.
it's supposed to be responded to by somebody else, not himself.
Yeah, but obviously it's him who's querying it. The Auditor General is saying you are overpaying yourselves. And the argument is that we are not overpaying ourselves because of XYZ reasons. I'm saying he must put those reasons down, Chair, as he writes to us, so that, such that we are empowered when we are to talk to Kokta. But Kokta is here. When we are to talk to Kokta. But one interesting thing, Chair, I heard that municipality procured parties on emergency grounds, because one of the standards is agency, and when we talk about agency, there should be, the situation should be such that there's a threat to life, Chair, or health or a property. I just wonder, paying a party on emergency service, does it fall under that category? Maybe just to make house to understand my point. It says standard procurement processes are deemed impractical, impossible due to need for immediate delivery to respond to a serious threat to life, health, or property. That's when you apply a principle of buying on emergency basis, because at times this principle get abused when people want to buy to their favorites. By so doing, running away from section 217 of the Constitution, which is talks about the fairness, transparency, equitability, you name them, such that everyone get a chance to compete fairly in that process. But reasons advanced here by the CFO, they do not fit in that category of emergency procurement when they were procuring budgets, unless maybe you expatiate even more such that we understand. On issue of Winback, we're talking about a situation where there's sewer spillage into the dam, the river dam. And this is about people, because people are drinking that water. And then when we are asking, how do you respond? We say, no. We're on it. We want to know how and when are you going to get a permanent solution to the problem? And you must be frank with us. If it's going to be a long-term thing, you must tell us, because even in your response, you are tracing it back, but you are not giving us a concrete solution as to what is the solution to this problem. On issue of water, do you have a problem of sabotage or a tool, a specified tool to address that problem is needed? Is it a sabotage, or the municipality has to buy a tool, a specified tool to attend to the problem? Thanks, Chair.
Let's remind our colleagues who are seated in front of us. Part of the reason of this work, in as much as the provincial legislature has got, it must have its own program, but it is as well a follow-up of the issues that arose from the National Parliament visit. Now, one of the things about your municipality was the issues pertaining to political instability, especially the showdown that happened between the MM and the mayor. And Chair, I am not hopeful that the issue, the appetite and commitment to resolve the issues between the two of you, unless you indicate otherwise.
the body language is telling me something else. You know, when the MM was busy speaking, two things. You never mention the mayor. You choose to say the council. Yet the mayor is your immediate supervisor politically. 3 or so times you were talking about the administrative leadership, as if it is outside the political leadership and the desired relationship between the two, because it is that relationship which must ensure the service delivery and give us hope, seated in this meeting, that a problem was identified. You've got 2 adults who are given responsibility on behalf of the people of Masilonyana. And certainly, you know, the assumption is that these are mature people. They will recognize that there's a problem and they have been engaged, and there will be appetite to solve or to address the issue. I don't want to take long. In the process of you speaking, the two of you, give us an indication. Is the situation hopeful that in the interest of that municipality and governance, you are finding each other or you not? Lastly, one of the area which I want the speaker to come on board, it will be a barometer also of the political responsibility, the stability across all port. Is council meeting sitting? And are they sitting regular? And are they dealing with substantive issues of service delivery? All matters concerning as far as the responsibility of a municipality given to them, both by the constitution and all pieces of the legislation, including the political responsibility. Are we getting somewhere to correcting the many of the challenges facing the municipality? Otherwise I'm inspired. Your responses, yourself, CFO, says that there are things that are happening. There's commitment to attend to the challenges. When you were speaking, I got that impression. And I'm saying it's a good one. But the enabler is the stability. Where are we with regard to that? Thanks, you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. There's 2 issues for me that are still unresolved, that were raised in July. The one being of the holiday that the mayor took with her staff and with the vehicle used and the fuel used. Has that money that's been used from the official vehicle, as well as the fuel and the accommodation, if applicable, been repaid to the municipality? Has it been recovered? Because that should be used to resolve issues for water, for sewage running into water in Wynberg. It should not be used at a spa. That's the first one. The second one is, CFO, when you were in Mafube, now I know the chair said we answered at the end, but when you were in Mafube, there was a vehicle purchased for the mayor, and it was registered in an employee of the municipality's personal name. How did you allow that to happen? That is fraud and clear financial malfeasance. So I'd like to get some clarity around that, because when Mafube was here, they said the vehicle was purchased that period of time, and you were the CFO. So please clear that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe You know, I wanted to, as you respond, get some few issues out of the way. Majoro, how many times do you meet with the MM in a week? Don't answer now. What I also want to check is the is it the manager or the director of social services that is being said to be there, the stability, who also became the acting MM? Is it not Michelle Sell or ever? Who you also suspended at some point, if I'm not mistaken. I just wanted to check these few issues. Your reaction to audit committee report and to, because you have said that you have also revived MPEC. MPEC is functional. Part of the issues that you see you are litigating against people, all those issues, you don't report them as coming out of the report of MPEC. Now, I want you, MPEC chairperson, to tell me, what is the capacity of that unit? Are you at administrative level? Is your unit capacitated? How many reports have you produced up to now as MPEC? Because I doubt that you have capacity. If the finance section does not have capacity, how does the one that must deal with problems that emanate there be available and have capacity? Thank you. Over to you, Majoro and the team.
Thank you, Chairperson. On the issue of how often we meet with the MM in a week, we meet as and when, sometimes twice a week, but sometimes not even met within a week, as and when I will be requesting to meet with MM. And then on the issue of the Director, Social and Community Services, we are speaking about Mema Sitole Makhahlele from Winbeck. She was a Social and Community Services Director for 10 years, and then his contract came to an end. She went to Northwest, now she applied back when we advertise. Michelle Selo is at the district as a environmental director. Yes. And then, oh, let me not respond to that one. Thank you.
No, I think the question that was asked, this one that relates to overpayment of Section 56. I believe you have to say something as the mayor because it's said to be a council resolution.
The council resolution that was given, remember, Chairperson, I only chair on the interviews of the municipal manager. And after the councillors took the resolution, we have to send the report to COCTA for a concurrency, to get a concurrency, but what I can safely say to on the issue of the municipal manager, the COGTA has seconded in that day Dr. Mutingwe as a acting a member, then we appoint the municipal manager. And then there were issues in terms of the salary to accept the salary, the MM to accept the salary. And then we were advised by COGTA to request a waiver from the National Treasury, National COGTA via a COGTA itself. So for that to come into my attention in the report, I only saw it in the report for implementation part, because remember we have to wait for the concurrence for the three of them as they were appointed. So we never get any concurrence from National Treasury or National COGTA or either a provincial COGTA. So the matter was only raised, we saw it in the report of the AG of 23-24, of which that report, AG only tabled it and then the council never dwell much to discuss it. It was only referred to the MPEG, of which the report is never been even sent to council in terms of the council to pronounce itself.
So what the CFO is saying to you is unknown.
Correct, Chairperson.
I don't know who's going to respond. Speaker.
Thanks, Chair, and greetings to all members. The council is sitting as per council resolution schedule. We have adopted the schedule. The ordinary council is sitting now on the 31st of October as per the schedule. On the question of the council sittings, chairperson and members, we are having the adopted schedule, council sittings, and we are sitting as per that schedule. On the issue of if we are discussing matters that matters most regarding service delivery, I will say yes, because EXCO report is built out of the Section 80 committee report. And Section 80 committee reports are service delivery driven reports. Things are now improving, given that we are not thumb-sucking if the department is doing good or right, because all departments are having directors. On the matter of the mayor and the car as per the last portfolio, noting that we are not representing ourselves here. It's an institution and the people of Masilonyana to submit the reports before the council, for council to pronounce itself. Now, given the situation around the mayors that are known to you, we have not yet been able to deal with those things, including the mayor's trip to Durban. We have not yet been able as a council to pronounce ourselves. I think I've tried to respond to questions raised by honorable member. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. The first one is relating payments in relation to 56, 57. The mayor has responded in respect of MM. And let me just bring in context what the CFO was trying to explain. Every municipality, it's expected before they advertise to get a technical advisory report from COGTA, you know, and then on the basis of that, an advert goes. And one of the things that would be part of the advert is the issue of remuneration, meaning that COGTA already has calculated, or they would know what band every municipality is part of, you know. So those figures of the minimum up till maximum, we get them from COGTA, and then we place them on a report. So it covers what the CFO has said needed to happen. It's an issue of a concurrence, which the MEC would even take it up to the minister at the national level. And we know that in relation to Free State, there's been a backlog in respect of those concurrence. The second one was on the issue of deviation. I thought even the CFO mentioned a particular regulation, Regulation 36. The deviation in this case talks to when you have utilized one service provider. I'll make an example. It's an official, we have to travel to Joburg. The meeting takes place at Gallagher Estate, and probably you find prudent through supply chain process that the nearest cheapest accommodation next to Gallagher Estate, it's this and this Ambrose Lodge. When you have utilized that single service provider, you provide a deviation report, meaning that it's allowed. It could also happen when there's only one newspaper in your area where you needed to advertise. Maybe your focus is on local. So there are those cases. So this deviation, it's not in relation to emergency, as the Honorable member is suggesting, but it's a deviation that relates to single a service provider. The third one around spillage that I've mentioned, it's also in the audit report. We've got material irregularity, meaning that at some point the decision was taken by AG that you need to correct this sewer that is affecting the environment. And we have had discussions with DWS. We are having money, we have been given money to deal with that. As we speak, the project, it's moving. We can provide the committee with the reports as to how we are dealing with that material irregularity and provide that. The technical director elsewhere has produced that report for a different meeting. So, we have also in relation to issues of water. I've mentioned that we've got a very competent director of technical services. He started in June, and he has uncovered most of the issues. We've got plans that are immediate, medium, and long term in terms of what needs to be done to stabilize both the issues of water and sewer. We have that report also ready as part of also of our turnaround strategy. We have a report that has tangible dates and milestones. The issue that is being referred to of what Honorable Member refers as a political instability, I want to repeat it slowly because if there's a misdiagnosis, we might get a solution that is not proper. I don't think myself and Mayor are having personal problems and what have you, where I stand, you know. Issues that probably will have different perspectives on. We discuss them. Sometimes the two of us, sometimes maybe when there's a troika and all that, you know. And I believe that's healthy. You call us, you say you must tell the truth. Then we tell you the truth. At that time, we are talking about the cow, the mayor, and all that. That does not mean that there's a hatred between me and mayor, you know. I come from a profession as well where I'm a counselor by profession, so I'm able also to counsel myself. In cases where there might be issue of not having same perspective, I don't take it that that's hatred. I don't take it. So our relationship, I don't think it's affecting service delivery, or at times different perspective on issues. We talk quite often, at times late, and we are not friends. We happen to be authorities in that municipality, and then we are trying our level best in our different corners. So I don't want the impression to be given that Masilo, Masilo Mayor, they're having issues. I wish the Honorable was here to respond to the issue that he's picking up body language and all that.
I said you are. I'm the one who asked questions.
My apologies, my apologies. Our system, one honorable member mentioned, asked a question, what is our system? Whether it's EXCO, whether it's mayoral, or whether it's executive. What I can tell you, it's not executive, you know. In instances where, in our case, it's an EXCO. We are having mayor who's leading the EXCO. So when I say this matter, council has pronounced, I mean the ultimate authority is council, because there's council resolution, which has come through EXCO that the mayor has. So it will be unfortunate to think that instead of council, I should put mayor, you know, because those decisions, those resolutions are born out of council. There's council resolution on that. So I just thought I should clarify that, and then yeah, mayor can confirm if whether I'm right to say that there are no personal issues between the two of us. I think that Chairperson, the one of impact capacity, did you direct to me or to the Chairperson? Should I respond to it?
I think you can say something on it also.
Yes.
But I just wanted also to get a reflection from him whether.
That's correct.
Yeah,
But
I think it
from
will
where
also
I
be
am
fine.
as the accounting
Yeah.
officer, you are correctly right. There's been training that has been provided to MPEC. I've mentioned in the report from SALGA, from PT, from COCTA. They have done that training, but yes, it's not optimum. Those people who are giving training, who are assisting, who are also sitting just to capacitate the external. Internal, obviously, it's councillors who form MPEC. We are trying to get legal services and admin. We have appointed people who assist MPEC because they have to do oversight even on what is happening at the level of executive. But I've also mentioned that we have appointed the audit and performance committee, which also in terms of legislation and regulations, they need to provide support. Amongst this audit committee, we've got people who are chartered accountants there, people who have been CFOs, therefore they would have capacity also to be assisting MPEC going forward. Thank you, Chairperson.
Now, thanks, Chairperson. There was that question regarding the car that was procured in Mafube. I just want to confirm before this committee that that car was never procured by myself. I was already left at that municipality chairperson. So if they came here, I think they misled this committee.
I think the question is this. So you say, no, I don't know, I was not there. It ends there. So don't cast aspersions on whatever they might have not talked about that.
Oh, okay, chairperson. Now I have
What
withdrawn
what is your reaction, impact chairperson?
Thank you, Chair. I'm actually the chairperson. At the moment, we are seated with two reports, Chair, that still needs to be tabled before council. And where capacity is concerned, I think the MM spoke to that. But as Chair, I want to believe that we are seated at a satisfactory stage for COGTA, SALG and Provincial Treasury assisting. At least we're at the stage where we are able then to talk to reports, interpret them, and so forth. So we are sitting at a satisfactory stage. Thank you. I'm hoping that with the appointment of the audit committee, we would be at more better capacity compared to where we are sitting now. Thank you.
So the audit committee has not met, from your knowledge?
We have not met.
Oh. I wanted from you, CFO, to tell me how many paragraphs were we talking about in relation to that audit outcome? The number of those paragraphs on disclaimer and those on non-compliance.
I think we had 13 paragraphs, chairperson.
On disclaimer.
Yes.
On
Disclaimer.
on compliance.
On compliance, I think it's about 10.
So you don't have a lot.
Yes, hence I'm saying under this financial year, you are going to see miracles in that municipality for the first time. Chairperson, we must improve.
Honorable members,
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe just to the impact chairperson, part of the reason why we invited the impact chairperson is actually that you can also see what we are doing, which is basically an example for what you should be doing. So just this question, when you ask the municipal manager, the directors or whatever to produce documents or evidence to be given to you, do they do that? Do they give you all the necessary documents you need to be able to do your work? Do they do that?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, you'd remember that most of them, in fact, the MM arrived in 2023. So some of the cases that we are dealing with are historical, that then suggest there's no proof. So with the ones that they have, they do give us. Thank you.
honorable members, I think what from our interaction, I would be happy if we can get the audit committee report of the previous. This one is new. The previous one, the audit committee report, especially that might be related to this financial year that whose audit we are dealing with, so that we can be able to look at the recommendations that came from that. And then secondly, we would then have to get your that consultancy reduction plan. The obviously we will then I'm reluctant to deal with or to say that we really have to get a report on from from MPEC now, because the manner in which things are looking, you are still at an infancy stage. Not much can be said or dissent from what you could be dealing with now. What we are going to do,
Sorry, Chairperson, to interrupt. I think from the COCTA or the Governance Committee as well, we've heard now there was a reply to the Human Rights Commission, and the Council did adopt a strategy to implement that. Maybe we should look at progress reports as well. And unfortunately, we should really be looking into these issues as well. And maybe we should ask for monthly reports as well. So yes, can we get monthly reports on the progress of the Human Rights Commission findings? Because your municipality has been highlighted as in this regard. Thank you.
Yes, and then I think we'll make follow up with COCTA in relation to this issue of overpayment. I'm laughing because we still have that outstanding issue on Mafube. My worry is that I wouldn't want us to conflate issues, so that we focus on issues of Masilonyana, and because our focus is to deal with the problems that Masilonyana is having now. I'm happy that after many years, there's been submission on time. As to whether the AFS it's poorly compiled or it's good, it's another issue. But there has been submission, and then everything will then be taken from there. And we need to have recommendations, because what we are going to do with this interaction is that what has been raised here, both from us and from yourself, will form part of the issues as we make follow-up through oversight, either coming there or having this type of a session. We will then be also looking at the progress report in relation to the issues that would have been raised here, because our target is your target. So our work must, and your work must be of mutual benefit, that whatever we see as a problem, you are able to attend to, and we get the feedback. In the same way that on issues that from our side and from your side you raise as challenges that needs attention by other institutions or elsewhere, also from our side, we be able to elevate them, so that you then are seeing results of the oversight work that these committees of the legislature are doing. So we are going to make follow up to ensure that at least there is progress. I'm reluctant unless you want clarity. Oh.
Thank you for your indulgence, Chair. I just wanted to correct maybe the first. Okay, let me say we are offering to provide you monthly reports. We have spoken about our turnaround strategy. So it will talk to most of the issues, including the questions that we have asked, so that they are clear in that turnaround strategy. It will also include MSIP as well as FRP. That's one. You were making request, Chair, that we should provide report of the previous audit committee. We will be unable to do that for simple reason that committee was not effective, you know. It was consisting of people who were in Joburg who would just talk on virtual, and it was difficult to bring them to council. Even councillors, they don't know them. So their term has since expired. We've got a new audit committee that even had a look at our AFS. So that's the committee that we are talking about, that we are saying that in future it will be assisting MPEC. So I just thought I should clarify that. The last one, Chairperson, I'll take your view that what was raised about Mafube in respect of me, it's this kind of rumors that I don't have a platform to clear. If there could be another platform later to deal with those things.
Yes, that's why I said, are you raising issues for clarity or what? I don't want us to. That's why I've put aside that one. Now, on the issue, on these issues of audit committees, part of the issues that Auditor General has raised was that in terms of the ecosystem of accountability in the province, some stakeholders are not playing their role. So that's why when in this type of interaction, we want different people or institutions so that all of us play a role in terms of this accountability. Now, looking into that report, we believe that that report is part of what should have been in your annual report, and it's not there. So, but you provide a clear indication to say that audit committee was really dysfunctional. So maybe it's part of the problems that if you don't get help from audit committee, some of the issues would never be able to make reflections on, because audit committee, in a way, it's also a mirror for the institution to say, how are we performing? Are we in the right direction? And what are the internal problems that we are having? So if it's dysfunctional, it's as well as to say you wash and clothe and you don't know whether you washed properly, because there's nothing that gives you feedback. Honorable members, that's the interaction with Masilonyana. Thank you. Thank you and thank you. Unlike the other time when you were throwing each other under the bus.
Good to see the mayor laughing this time.
You take time before you leave. We might start the interaction from scratch, so you better leave as soon as possible. Can we get what is this? Kopanong.
Oh, they're here.
Kopanong.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
We're going to dismiss them. There are three.
I will see you next. Okay, so you're going to fight with them? I'm going to smoke with my daughters.
No. We have taken the Good morning. Good day. Thanks, Majuro. You have members of the legislature in front of you. On the right-hand side, you have the technical team from the legislature. Left-hand side, you have the institutions that we are working with in this process of oversight, Cooperative, Human Rights Commission, and Treasury. On my left-hand side, I have Melich, Ndate Van Vieren, Ndate Makai. Next to me here, he just rushed outside, is Ndate Klute, Mayor Harikwe. I don't know whether Ndate Meko has left. We then have Ndate Pretorius. I don't know whether Ndate Meko is all up. Those are the members of the two committees that of governance and public accounts. Over to you, Majoro. Who's with you?
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Kolani Tsele. I'm the mayor of Kopanong local municipality. On my far left, it is Masilonyana, the CFO of Kopanong. And then on my left side, it's Ndate Chris Mugomed, who is the acting municipal manager. Good afternoon to yourself and everyone in this plenary. Thanks.
Thank you. Majoro, where are other people? The MPEC, the audit committee, the speaker, and the council whip. Majoro, where is the speaker, the MPEC, audit committee, and the council whip?
No, thanks, Chair. The speaker, Chairperson, is outside the province. He left yesterday for a funeral in Petersville. It is a family funeral. And then the chief whip this morning, it seems like there were communication breakdown in terms of the program of today. And then the MPEC chair is in Eastern Cape. I was in Philippolis Tuesday. After our program, he left for Eastern Cape.
Thank you, Shepherd Majoro. The committee has taken a decision that with a representation like yours, we cannot entertain it because we want as many stakeholders as possible on the issue of accountability in the municipality. So, Majoro and the you will ensure that everyone is here on Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Yes, Chairperson, we'll commit that 2 o'clock. We will ensure everyone is here. I know there is a Karoo event in our municipality. It starts Tuesday till Thursday, but we'll ensure that other councillors can attend, and then the whole team will then start there on Tuesday. Then we can be that side Wednesday, Thursday.
Thank you. And that concludes our interaction with you. Goodbye. Honorable members, for Tuesday afternoon at 2, we have Tokologo negotiable mandate. And yes, I think it's for negotiating mandate. Thank you, and thank you